Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tech News. In today's episode, we have for you Tom Cruise deepfakes, Starlink in India, Microsoft doubling down on mixed reality, and scientists in a dance battle. Welcome to today's episode. In our first bit of tech news, it seems Elon Musk's Starlink is now available in India and you can pre order this for a measly sum of $99. The service itself is slated to be available in India only by 2022, and if the service doesn't come online by 2022, then they say you will get your money back. Starlink currently offers speeds where it does exist of 150 Mbps, and they are set to double the speed to 300 Mbps in the near future. Eventually, Starlink wants to give everyone 1 Gbps download speeds with a latency of under 40 milliseconds, which is currently achieved. Meanwhile, Microsoft just dropped something called the Microsoft Mesh, which is a mixed reality platform. Microsoft Mesh will be a sandbox that developers can use to create apps that aid in productivity as well as video games. What it is Microsoft doubling down on its vision for the future, and apparently our future is in our living rooms. In their demo, Microsoft shows us an example of how you can have a meeting with a coworker who will appear virtually in your living room and even be able to share 3D models with you that you can work, interact with, move around, and so on, thereby allowing you to, say, prototype something with a fellow engineer or have an entire board meeting in the comfort of your home and then switch off and go about your daily activity shortly after. Speaking of altered reality, also in the news today is Tom Cruise.
Hey, listen up, sports and TikTok fans. If you like what you're seeing, just wait till what's coming next.
Actually, it's not Tom Cruise, it's a deep fake of Tom Cruise created by a Belgian VFX artist named Chris Ume. At least I hope I pronounced that name right. Over a period of a couple of months, Chris Ume has worked with an actor who can mimic the mannerisms and movements of Tom Cruise and trained artificial intelligence to be able to transplant Tom Cruise's face onto the actor's face for the video. Many people do seem to be worried about this technology. Mr. Ume wants to emphasize that it is in fact quite difficult to make these videos. It took him over a month just to train the artificial intelligence and then weeks to work with the actor himself, and then a few more weeks after that to put together the video and sort out all the glitches. Despite this, people do believe that the technology will improve and deepfakes will become easier and easier to make. However, Ume does point out that this is the same thing that Photoshop did 20 years back in its infancy. Nowadays, the public has learned to either realize bad Photoshop jobs or check their sources and try and figure out what's most likely right or wrong. Moving over to science, it seems scientists have taken quite the leap towards developing robots that can help them explore the vast depths of the ocean. The problem with exploring the vast depths of the ocean is the immense pressure exerted by the water on anything we send down there, thus making it difficult to send humans, but also just for devices to be able to protect their own internal mechanisms and electronics. Well, to combat this, scientists are doing two things. One, they're not sending humans anymore. Two, they're using new materials in making these drones. The new materials are pliable and soft and therefore more durable and resilient towards the pressures exerted by the ocean. Also, these materials can be used in making fins for the robots. You see, the materials themselves can be made to change their dimensions by passing a current through them. So, what scientists have done is use this new material to create fins for the robot, and by passing electric current through them repeatedly, the fins are made to change their shape and create motion in a desired direction. So far, they've only made a prototype that's only been able to move around in circles, but they've sent this prototype to the bottom of the Marianas Trench. That's 10 kilometers below sea level. And the robots passed with flying colors. So, going forward, they will be making more prototype with electronics and motion in all different directions. And before you know it, we'll be exploring all the secrets the depths of the oceans have to offer. In other science news, over in India, two biomedical researchers have taken it upon themselves to establish a forum where once a week on every Monday between 5 pm and 6 pm Indian Standard Time, They have an interactive online session with students from all around India. The initiative was started last year, and it looks like the two scientists involved haven't missed a beat. Every single week on Monday, they have been holding these talks. Initially, the talks were centered around biomedical sciences, but now they're looking to explore all the STEM fields. They also have other scientists on as guest speakers, where kids get to explore topics like how DNA is extracted from the body, how the immune system works, what is skin pigmentation all about, what it is to work in the sciences in India, and so on. The initiative has so far received funding from the India Bioscience Outreach Grant, and it promises to be a regular occurrence every week. If you have kids who are maybe interested in science, or you want to get them interested in science, there's a link down below in the description that you can use. Go register yourself. It's probably going to be worth it. Meanwhile, scientists from around the world have been participating in a dance-off. That's right. Dance Your PhD is a competition that's been happening since 2008. And what happens is basically researchers who are doing their PhD and need to blow off some steam can enter this competition and have an interpretive dance to explain their PhD study. The overall first prize is $2,500, with smaller prizes ranging from $500 to $700 in subtopics as well. This seems super fun, and honestly, it's been quite interesting just looking at these. Maybe it's a great way to learn a little more about what research is going on out there. I'm going to leave you with a video from last year's winner. Thank you for joining us for What's News. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Let me tell you something about secondary aerosols. They form right in the atmosphere from gas, yes. Precursors, first single molecules come and cluster together. That is a sulfuric acid with some base, which whatever.
Ammonia or DMA, highly oxygenated compounds, all of them suitable to form with the acid strong bonds. Once the cluster has reached a certain size, water starts to condense. It's a cloud droplet surprise. Now we want to understand the start of this process. We will use chemistry, physics and computers in excess.
We are looking for molecular clusters. We're trying to find them faster, searching through configuration and space. With the powers of computers, we'll understand sooner the birth of cloud condensation nuclei. Let me use some coding. I produce a program, shooting as equation will solve all my problems. I never have to leave my chair even for a second. When science done virtually no dead ends. Fine, I'll do it myself. For arranging molecules, there are very many ways. They rotate or translate and vibrate in space. We have some programs that explore all the possibilities, and others to refine the results energetically. Once we collected and evaluated all the data, we feed them to advanced models to analyze them faster. Atmospheric cluster, dynamics code, short AC/DC, predicts cluster formation rates, fast and easy peasy. In the big picture, we want to understand the climate, predict weather phenomena, and be ready to time it. We are looking for molecular clusters. We're trying to find them faster, searching through configuration and space. With the powers of computers, we'll understand sooner the birth of cloud condensation nuclei. Let me use some coding. I produce a program, shooting as equation will solve all my problems. I never have to leave my chair even for a second. When science done virtually no dead ends.
Hey, listen up, nerds. This is how you find clusters. 1. Turn on the computers. 2. Get your molecules and put them together. 3. Explore the configurational space. 4. Optimize these structures. 5. Filter out the crap. 6. Congratulations, you found your cluster. 7. Cash in the Nobel Prize.
We are looking for clusters. We're trying to find them faster, searching through configuration and space. With the powers of computers, we'll understand sooner the birth of cloud condensation nuclei. Look at us, genius atmospheric scientists, going to add science to our publication list.
We are peerless.
Accepted without review.
Submissions fearless.
High metrics on the menu.
Coffee is my fuel and sole means of hydration when I'm busy fighting. Oh, I mean writing. writing my dissertation.
We set the bar so high, it's statistically significant.
Your mom says hi, I taught her to extrapolate my constant.
My papers are flawless, your impact is abysmal.
I'm the first author, and you are just et al, et al, et